Hello, this is Hilary Robertson. Welcome to the latest episode of Harmonious World. This time, I'm pleased to be joined by guitarist Ryan Michael Richards. Ryan recorded at Imaginary Road Studios in Vermont with Grammy Award-winning producers Will Ackerman and Tom Eaton. His latest album, More Than Time, consists of 5 beautiful songs that feature both Ryan on guitar and some strings and remarkable sax from Premik Russell Tubbs. More Than Time follows Ryan's other albums, including Pathways to Love and Experiences. Thank you for joining me once more on Harmonious World. I have lots of interesting guests lined up for the coming weeks, and I hope you enjoy listening to them. By all means, catch up with some of the past episodes, which you can find wherever you get your podcasts. You'll find my social media accounts listed in the show notes, and please do connect with me. I began this podcast with an extract from Moving Forward, and I hope you enjoy listening to my conversation with Ryan. Welcome to Harmonious World, Ryan. It's really nice to speak to you, especially about your latest album, More Than Time.
Oh, thank you, Hilary. It's a pleasure to finally get a chance to talk to you.
Great stuff. You went up to Vermont to record this. How did that come about?
Well, this is actually my second album with Will and Tom Eaton up in Imaginary Road Studios. The first one was in 2014 with Experiences. And so when it came time for me to do another album, of course I wanted Will and Tom to work with me again. So I contacted them, I emailed them, they said, come on over. So that's what I did.
And I mean, they're an amazing, amazing partnership, aren't they?
Oh, they are very simpatico with each other. They know each other. They seem to have a really true love for each other, for their work and for each other. They're very close, I believe.
I've interviewed a couple of people who have worked with them, and the quality of recording is just amazing, isn't it? It's just really good.
Oh, it's wonderful. And Will is a terrific producer. He can think of things that I know I could never think of, or what other people could think of. He has a real gift for the obvious.
Yeah, and afterwards you think, well, of course that works so well, but nobody else thought of it.
Exactly. And Will, I think, is the greatest when it comes to come up with arrangements and the ideas for instrumentation. He's great.
And you've also got some great other artists accompanying you on this, haven't you?
Yes, I do. I was fortunate enough to have Premik Russell Tubbs, who was a fantastic musician, of course. Whitney Houston, for them. He was wonderful with the lyricon on my song "At Your Leisure," and he was wonderful with the soprano saxophone with the song "Timeless." He really came through.
Yeah, and in fact, if it's all right, I'm going to play some clips, and particularly of those 2 tracks. Those are 2 of the tracks that I've really enjoyed listening to.
Oh, please do.
Yes, I've always liked his work, and I think alongside your guitar, it works really well.
I think so too. I thought we kind of clicked very well together.
Yeah. You've mentioned in the material that I've been given alongside the album, you've mentioned your experiences as diverse as Eddie Van Halen, Jaco Pastorius, and Christian McBride.
Yes, I would say Eddie Van Halen was my earliest influence. But then as I got more into my music and stuff like that, I realized that it's not just rock and roll all the time. There's a whole bunch of genres that you can explore and experience with. And so when I went to college, I was a jazz bass major, and I got influenced by the Jaco Pastorius kind of thing, and the Christian McBride, who's also a very good jazz bassist. And then as I went on, I got more into the current genre I like to do currently. And of course, Will Ackerman was a great influence in my playing, and Alex DeGrassi. But also, I don't just listen to just 1 or 2 genres. I'm into all kinds of music, and I think as a musician, you want to explore all kinds of music. Yeah, you want to explore, and you want to experience things, and maybe it'll be great for your own composing and songwriting.
Yeah, and since I've been doing this podcast, I've interviewed so many people. It's been amazing, and I've realized that actually most music is very hard to put into one particular classification, one genre.
Yes.
Ryan, are you comfortable talking about your learning disability that you were diagnosed with and how playing the guitar has helped you with that?
I was diagnosed with audio processing disorder when I was about 8, 9 years old, and it was very difficult having people understand what you were saying too, because sometimes your thought processes can interfere and your speech pattern can be a little bit off track too. So anyway, I had to go to these special schools to help me cope with the learning disability and to better communicate with people. And one thing about music, I wasn't until like I was about 14 when I started learning how to play the guitar. And they said that the arts and music in particular is a great way of coping with your learning disability. So that's what really came about me playing. One day when I was 14, when I started listening to groups like Van Halen, I went up to my mom. I asked her if I can learn how to play the guitar, and she signed me up for lessons at the local music store. But as time went on, I started finding myself that I did like to play music. So I would like most kids, I would lock myself in my room for like 6, 8 hours at a time just to practice. Well, let's put it this way: the influences actually came later.
Right. Okay, but it's about finding a way, finding strategies for expressing yourself in your own way. And I guess through music, you've been able to do that.
That was my way of coping. That was my way of trying to communicate with people better. Yes.
Yeah, and clearly that's made a difference. So fantastic.
A very big difference. Yes. I enjoy recording. I enjoy playing whenever I do get the chance to play.
Well, yeah. And actually, that was going to be my next question. So when was the last time you played, and when do you think is going to be the next time you're going to play live?
I haven't played live in a long time, to be honest. Sometimes I get a little stage fright at times, but I'm hopefully with this COVID thing being over pretty soon, I can actually do a live concert, what I would call a post-release CD concert, somewhere in my home area of Clinton, New Jersey. But I probably would have done everything sooner if it wasn't for COVID.
I guess we've all put a lot of things on hold, haven't we, for the last year or so?
Unfortunately, yes.
What's new on the horizon? Have you got new songs? Because obviously these were written quite some time ago. Have you got new songs that eventually you're going to go into the studio and record?
Yes, I'm currently trying to write some new music. I like to record some songs for a couple singles. And hopefully in due time, hopefully I can go back to a place like Imaginary Road Studios and record another album.
Great. Can you talk me through Timeless and where that tune comes from?
Sure. With Timeless, originally I was going to call the song More Than Time, but it was suggested to me that maybe the song title does not fit the mode of the album. So I decided I tried to come up with a new name, and I thought Timeless was probably the closest way of calling a song like that.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, Hillary.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much, Ryan. It's really good to talk to you. Well, that was a great interview. I enjoyed talking to Ryan, and I love his music. I'm going to play out now with a part of Timeless from his album More Than Time. And you can find Ryan by clicking on the links in the show notes. You can also find me on social media, and you can even follow the link and buy me a coffee. I hope this finds you well. I hope you're enjoying listening to Harmonious World. Please do leave me a review and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you for listening to the latest episode of Harmonious World. My name is Hilary Seabrook, and it's a great delight to bring this series of discussions with musicians and composers and writers and all sorts of people to you. Obviously, there's no point in having a podcast if people aren't listening, and I'm very grateful to my listeners for doing so. Thanks also to Joe English for composing and performing this new theme tune. So wherever you get your podcast, you can leave a review. You can share this with your friends and family, either as a link or on social media and that sort of thing. I'd be really grateful for that. Don't forget that you can subscribe now. There's a link wherever you get your podcasts. So have a great week, and please remember why I started this, which is just to try and make the world a little more harmonious. Thanks for listening to Harmonious World.